So welcome to another OpenChain study group meeting. This time it is the SBOM study group. This is one of our most busy and popular study groups in the project. We're talking about how SBOMs can be used in production in very practical ways. The leader of this study group, the chair, is Kubota-san from Sony, and he'll be guiding you through the discussion. Before he does so, I'm just going to show our antitrust policy notice. This meeting, like all of the meetings in the Linux Foundation, is held under our antitrust policy notice. You can read the full policy on our website, and if you're from a member company, you can ask any questions of our counsel, Andy Updegrove. If you're not from a member company, you can ask any questions of your own counsel. Well, with the formal part out of the way, we have a ton of exciting work to do around the practical use of SBOMs in the supply chain, and I will hand over to Kubota-san to run the meeting.
Thank you, Shane. I will start today's meeting. And wait a moment. I will share. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, it's looking good.
Okay. And thank you for attending today. And for the past 2 months, we have been discussing the challenges of the SBOM operation. And we have also been discussing how to solve these challenges and what kind of guide or documentation we should have. So today I will share the progress about it. And among Japan communities, we had the fifth time to discuss at the local meetings and what kind of document we should have. So this is a very preliminary document and idea stage. So let me know or let us know what you think. And we have already a good guide from the Terraco SBOM guide on the OpenChain project repository. So we think we should refer this guide as a baseline. On the other hand, this guide is described only by using the SPDX format. And in the past meeting, if we should create this guide, we should format agnostic and industry independent. It's an idea for our discussion in the past. So I and Japanese colleagues, Japanese folks created a table of contents today. And first one is introduction about this document. It's just introduction. And these are the chapter summaries. Based on the Telco SBOM guide, objectives and scope is inherits these Telco SBOM guide. But as I said, this guide is written in only about the SPDX format, so we should refine industry independent and format agnostic style. And the second chapter is terms and definitions. And we should add Cyclone DX about for the terms and definitions. And the third chapter is explaining that basic requirements. This is already described in the chapter 3 requirements from OpenChain Telco SBOM guide. So as same format, we should as described and explain not only the SPDX, but also the Cyclone DX and so on. And we'd like to propose at the fourth section, SBOM quality assessment and improvement measures. The chapter systematically organizes specific check items and resolutions for assessing and improving SBOM quality based on issues discussed within the OpenChain SBOM study group and the OpenChain Japan SBOM study group. This item will be added using the Appendix 2 template for Chapter 5 items. This one, sorry, Chapter 5, like this. The chapter title is challenge title. For example, ensuring accurate and consistent information descriptions. This challenge is already translated in English, and you can refer the materials, but some materials are written in Japanese, so I summarized in English. Share the issues and proposal solutions and automation considerations about each issues. And we had a fifth time to discuss, so you can check several issues. And we believe this is just discussed within Japanese communities, but we believe these issues are similar issues all over the world. Companies or all over the individuals will have similar issues, we think. And after adding these items, we back to the OpenChain Telco SBOM guide, guide management and administration. This chapter focuses on managing this guide itself, outlining regular reviews, updates, and procedures for documenting change history rather than the operational management of the SBOMs itself. So guide update processes and defining guide update processes and change history management and documentation. This will be described in this chapter. And the last one is reference and related materials. This is also based on the OpenChain Telco SBOM guide and adding some another materials such as Cyclone DX specification and so on. And the characteristic items is this one. For, during the discussion, we had the idea there are less sample, especially for the less SPDX examples for describing some situation and actual SPDX JSONs and Cyclone DX JSONs. And we can find many samples by writing with Cyclone DX format, but we can't find many, not so many SPDX examples. Also, over more, we can find some SPDX example with SPDX version 3.3 or 2, but we can't find any examples written in SPDX version 3.0. So we will add some actual examples and adopting some regulations such as NTIA minimum or adopting NTIA minimum element. We should write SPDX 3.0. We will share such examples in this chapter. So that's the overview of the idea level of the SBOM quality guide. So I'd like to ask all of you, are there any idea or comments about this?
And everyone, feel free to unmute yourself or write it in the chat. I'm watching the chat. Yari, your hand is up.
Hey, not really. Well, it's kind of related to this document as well, but idea. should we start to talk about SBOM document quality guide instead of SBOM quality guide? Because my thinking back, is that okay, there's SBOM and the organization, most likely they will have some sort of database that keeps the products, product versions, and then the open source and commercial and in-house developed components in database and then do the matching. And that's kind of the SBOM. And when they, I don't know, ship application or product or whatever, then from that database, they generate SBOM document that, for example, they can, ship together with that product to make that sort of this kind of separation between those two, that there's SBOM, which is most likely some database and, fields in the database and tables. And then there's SBOM document, which then could be SPDX or CycloneDX or maybe some other format in the future.
Yes. Thank you. I agree with your opinion, your thoughts. Yes, we should revise SBOM document quality guide.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Thank you.
I don't know if everybody else, thinks this way, but I think this is not just my thinking.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi. Hi. So I also wanted to suggest one thing. So what about adding one more topic there? Why good quality SBOM matters and how it can help, and uh, what are the standards of good quality SBOMs? Kind of.
Ah, yes. Oh, sorry, I missed to implement. Yes. During our Japanese discussion, we should define what is SBOM quality, referring the yes exactly interlink as SBOM QS documentation. In SBOM QS documentation, that is describing what is the SBOM document quality. So we should refer that SBOM the definition of the SBOM quality. Yeah, so we will write down, implement such a SBOM document quality definition into this guide.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Are there any other thoughts or opinion?
And just to stress for everyone, any thoughts, any opinion is very welcome. This is a study group, so we're brainstorming at this stage. And when we've had all of our studying done, later we will perhaps become a work group and do the work part. So now is the brainstorm, and any comment, any idea is very welcome. Rakesh.
Yeah, thank you, Shane. So, just a couple of points. I think there was this point regarding the current uh, guide focuses only on the SPDX and not on the Cyclone DX, right? So, do we also intend to add the Cyclone DX, specification best practice? Like, what are the parameters that should be part of Cyclone DX document?
Appendix 1, I think. Is that right, Kubota-san, where we will have the samples?
Yes, but as you know, we don't have enough experience using
Mm-hmm.
Cyclone DX. So I will very appreciate
Mm-hmm.
some contributions from the Cyclone DX people.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what are the expectations? Is it with respect to, let's say, what are the parameters that are that should be mandatorily be part of a Cyclonics document for it to be qualified as a a good SBOM. Is that the expectation?
So there is something underway. Oh, sorry, Kubota-san.
Sorry, go ahead, please.
Okay.
I'm not. Yeah, I can't follow the question exactly. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I do have an answer which might suit you, Rakesh, which is based on what type of SBOM we might like to see in that. So what is it we might want to see? And I made an issue, I think. Yes. This is an issue, so it hasn't been accepted yet. Okay, but it's an example. I'm just going to share my screen briefly, if that's okay. And then I'll come back to Kubota-san. So I'm just going to share my screen and show you an issue.
Yes.
Thank you. This is an issue that's open on GitHub about this document. And right now we have a small bit of text saying there'll be SBOM samples. And I just suggested that we have these type of samples. Like, what is the minimum in SPDX you need for NTIA and Cyclone for NTIA? Then later, once we have the rules, what's the minimum in SPDX for CRA and Cyclone for CRA? And then what is it for NTA plus CRA? What fields do you need in SPDX? Same question, what fields do you need in Cyclone? So those type of really practical examples are what my proposal is, my suggestion. I don't know if that answers your question, Rakesh, but it's just an example of, very practical what type of thing might be useful for us to create.
Yes, yes, Trin. I think that is also quite helpful. But I think we should have this appendix part that you had mentioned. Additionally, one more point is like in an ideal scenario, when there is an SPD, when there is a SBOM exchange, and if the SBOM is being, let's say, generated in one country and then it's going to another country, where let's say from India to Europe, then the adherence has to be with respect to the CRA and other laws. And similarly, in US we would be having other requirements, right? So I would also suggest, if everyone agrees, could we have like a combination of all in one SBOM? Because currently I think the NTA is quite familiar, and the CRA is quite new. So I would say like the last two examples that you mentioned, right? NTAA plus CRA. Maybe we could also try to bring in other parts. So if we have, let's say, my idea is that we could have CRA separately, we could have NTAA separately, and maybe we could have BSI separately. That's fine. But then when we merge it, probably you could have like a combination of everything, rather than like having like 6 to 7 different combinations, because that would also be like a little difficult, right? To refer, I mean.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I don't think we can do all of the edge cases in examples. Certainly, we
Mm-hmm.
should probably do the really big
Yep.
obvious ones. So, US, India, Europe, and if we could do like the isolated example, so here's NTIA, it's, I don't know, 14 fields.
Yes.
But then have the combined example of here's NTIA plus CRA plus an Indian requirement. This is what
Right.
it looks like. I mean, that's exactly the type of really useful contribution that hopefully experts such as yourself could help us with as we build
Mm-hmm.
the appendix. Because you're right,
Mm-hmm.
doing the simplest one would only be useful like a code snippet. It's like, here's a tiny example. But combining India, US, and Europe suddenly would give a real practical example for the market, of course.
Right. Right.
But
Yeah,
it sounds like a please help us community moment.
no, no, no problem. I think, yeah, I mean, just a suggestion, like, because that sounds more like like how the suppliers work, or if somebody is consuming, it's probably generated somewhere and it's being consumed somewhere, and probably the person who's generating may have to, let's say, adhere to multiple laws. So yeah, it will be good to have that. Definitely, we'll also try to contribute here as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. It'll be great to have you
Thank
help
you.
with the appendix examples.
We have a question from Yari-san. Yes, we should discuss about the BEX. SPDX already have a security profile, and I heard that they are now restarting to discuss about how to embedded style or separated style, how to involve enclose specs into the SBOM. But I'm not sure we should include this guide about the specs information in this guide. Are there any thoughts? Do you have any thoughts, Yari-san?
Yeah, like that's why I threw the question out there, because I think as for today, the industry is still kind of debating a little bit about the embedded specs or not. And I think that as for today, mostly they are favoring the separate VEX from SBOM, but who knows what we will say in 6 or 12 months from now, that if the industry will go for the embedded VEX, and then if it's embedded, and then if we have the SBOM quality guide, then I think it maybe should be part of the document if the industry is going towards the embedded VEX. But I think we will see that
Yes.
in the coming months or years.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, we had in Japanese community we had a similar discussion, and currently Japanese community tends to choose a separated style, but I'm not sure what way we're going.
Yeah, and for example, in Germany, the BSI guide, it's clearly, at least the first iteration, say that they must be separated.
Okay. Are there any
But then
other
on the
thoughts?
other hand, the cyclone is I think pushing a little bit
Yes.
more towards the embedded model. So I don't know.
Yes. Shane, please.
I just had a thought, which was the advantage of what we're doing is because we're building a guide, and it's not a specification, it's not formal guidance. It's no problem for us to expand or change the guide for market conditions. So, if currently things are separate, and then if people bring them together, I think it's no problem for us to say, okay, we'll make a new version of the guide now. The industry changed.
Yes. Yeah, it's a good idea. We should share the example in Appendix 1.
Yeah.
As this is a separated style. And also, if you want to embed, please write like this. We can share such example in the other appendix. It's a good idea.
I love that idea because that means people can just sit down and explore.
Could we also add the schema along with the examples? That would be like
Yes.
also really cool, because then we could define like yeah.
Yes, thank you. It's ideal, I think. But as far as I know, SPDX team are discussing about it. They are
Mm-hmm.
creating some schema about the SPDX 3.0 currently.
Mm-hmm.
So we can join the I'm not sure, but we should join the SPDX team and discuss simultaneously and reflecting the SPDX schema to this guide as a sample or answer.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I'm not sure, but are there any schema in the Cyclone DX format?
So I'm pretty sure. I think Kubota-san, we discussed on maybe two months back. We discussed on the Sapia project. You're aware of that, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
uh, this is also in the open chain, and so the purpose of the project is to provide a validator for SBOM and also collect different schemas. So currently, it's since it's initiated from Bosch, we have added the schema just as a, let's say, a best practice thing, kind of a thing. Like it's more like a draft. So maybe if this could also be referred, so it's available for both SPDX and CycloneDX, SPDX 2.3 and CycloneDX 1.4. So I've just added the link here.
This one. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's great. Okay. Okay. Oh, great. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay. Yari-san. Oh, Yari-san, good. Okay. Okay. Are there any thoughts or questions and so on? Nothing? Okay. Then I will move this guide to the OpenChain SBOM study group repository. And welcome to create issues or some discussions items and so on. So please please continue on the discussion on the GitHub because time zone is different. So very welcome to create the issues and so on. Okay, so we have time. So I will introduce some items this time. So first challenge is ensuring accurate and consistent information descriptions. We've already discussed about this in the past meeting, but there are challenges in the inconsistent representation of information. It's the content of the SPDX and SBOM value, such as package names, are sometimes different. Also, it's almost same packages, or version representation is some kind of different format. In some cases, just only 2.3, but some packages described as V2.3 and so on. And supplier names across different companies and tools. These are the shared challenges, and we describe how to improve these situations. This should be described ideal situation, ideal environment, and after that, how to solve this situation, and how to evaluate the improvement of these challenges. And then we should describe if we try to improve this situation, but there may be still some risks or considerations. So we should describe these risks and considerations in these sub-chapters. And the second challenge is the standardization and normalization of component granularity. This is sometimes we receive the SBOM document described in the package level, but some part or some third party provides SBOM document in more detailed document, such as a file level document. In such case, we needed to merge the package level SBOM and file level SBOM. These are very burden to merge systems or engineers' tasks. So how to solve? We will describe such situation to how to solve such situations. And the third one is complementing source information and enhancing transparency. What is this? Specify essential items such as listing source files, hash values, or license information even when providing binaries, and set policies that adopt automated extraction processes. Sorry, I'm not sure this question, this challenge. So I will check the past our discussions. And strengthening, fourth one is strengthening vulnerability integration and risk management. This is somewhat related to the specs. Define methods for linking component information with vulnerability data, such as CVE, and introduce automated mapping for risk assessment. And clarify how vulnerability data is incorporated into SBOM entries and determine definitive conclusions. What is this? Sorry, I also forgot this item, but we definitely discussed in the past. Okay, it's not important, so please check it later, these items, if you are interested in. So if you would like to know more details, I already linked this document, so please check it later. Okay. We have 30 minutes, but I have no idea. So please, Shane, thank you. Please go ahead.
We have one question in from Vilma, which is about, will the corresponding open source licenses of software elements be part of SBOMs, or will this be separate to fulfill with ISO 5230 compliance? Now, this is a discussion, I think, for the wider group, but I just wanted to be very quick note that ISO 5230 requires that people identify the licenses of code and they obey the licenses. It's not prescriptive. The ISO standard isn't prescriptive about how to do that. So ISO 5230 compliance means that you're having a process to identify the licenses and to meet their requirements. And ISO 5230 stops there. It doesn't talk about how to do that. So I just wanted to put that in context. And then the question would be, how do corresponding open source licenses be part of SBOMs? And the answer is, I think generally all of the major SBOM formats identify or can identify the license of a corresponding package. But people would have to make sure that their tools and records do that and keep the record. Yari, over to you.
Just a little note that there was some, or actually not just some, quite a lot of discussion on FSFE's legal network mailing list about topic that is it enough for license compliance just to send the SBOM or not? And there were quite a lot of legal people joining the discussion, and I think that the conclusion was that just having the SBOM, even with the license information, is not fulfilling the requirement, but I think that discussion is still going on. So FSF is legal network mailing list discussion.
Right. And I mean, I guess one of the things that's very important is that if we talk about an SBOM format, it describes how to say something. If we talk about an SBOM quality guide, it's saying that we want you to say something and say these things. You know, we want a certain amount of stuff, but neither an SBOM format or an SBOM quality guide is a guarantee of compliance. So companies have to understand the licenses and the requirements. And for that reason, having an SBOM in any format, SPDX or Cyclone, doesn't mean that you're meeting a license requirement. It just means you have some data written down. And an SBOM quality guide requires you to have something in the SBOM. It's like have this field and that field and this field. So it's more likely that you'll meet various requirements, but it's not a guarantee that you'll meet the requirements of every open source license. So I think it's like these are tools, but they're not ways to have no responsibility. So we can reduce the burden and we can make the industry have one alignment, but we can't make license compliance requirements go away for companies, if that makes sense. You know, there's no easy answer to it. Someone has to check that they're meeting the requirements. Ninjoji-san had a question, an interesting question. Can you explain the relationship between this SBOM quality guide and the telco guide? For me, this guide does not seem to cover all the points in the telco guide. What is the difference between the two? I'm curious about the reason. Komodo-san, would it be okay if I said something about this, or do you want to jump straight in?
Both are okay, but I will try to explain. As
Sure.
As I explained the initial timing of these meetings, we have already the good telco SBOM guide. So, but the telco SBOM guide is only describing about the SPDX format and focusing to use within the telco industry. So, of course, we should based on inherit the SBOM telco SBOM guide, but we should extend it, sometimes extend it, and sometimes reduced or modified as necessary to suit industry independent and format agnostic style. This is the difference between the two, main difference between the two. And also, we discussed the actual challenges and issues among SBOM document operations in actual our industries. So we'd like to add some situation, challenge situation, and how to solve these situations. And then, lastly, we'd like to add actual SBOM sample later in JSON format for the Cyclone and SPDX. These are the main differences between the two. Are there any additional comments, Shane?
Oh, I think you've covered it better than I could. And I guess, you know, another additional context is just that the telco guide is already in use with companies such as Nokia and Ericsson for their sector. So they're already busy with this, it's deployed, it's being used. So what we're doing is separate, as exactly as Kubota-san said, cross-industry focused on what we're up to. So it's a different game. Their guide is already out, it's already done, it's already focused on one industry. We can be inspired by it, but we have slightly different job to accomplish. So yeah, just as Kubota-san said.
Yeah, Niju-san. Are you okay?
Thank you so much for your explanation, but I'm a little bit confused because yes, exactly. So the S, how to say, the OpenChain Telco SBOM guide is titled with the words telco, but according to the contents of telco SBOM guide, it seems for me, at least for me, so it doesn't matter specifically onto the telco industry. The how to say, the describing things is popular things to treat the SBOM. So if we no, if open chain or this SBOM study groups would like to make a standard, it is not it is cross industrial or industrial neutral guide. It can be used almost whole contents from the telco SBOM guide, but apparently this SBOM quality guide, how to say, shows the different style and the different structure of this document, and at some points it is appears only in this document, but and otherwise some topics is lack from the SBOM, telco SBOM guide. So I'm a little bit confusing why these topics is not, how to say, aligned these two guides.
I'm not sure. I refer to all contents of the OpenChain Telco SBOM guide. They are, for example, scope is objectives and scope refers to the scope section, and the terms and definitions. Yeah, we should refer, and after that, requirements we will refer in the third section, chapter 3. So there are no differences, but we will of course add some SPDX 3.0 or Cyclone DX format. But basically, I intended to refer all of the contents from the OpenChain Telco SBOM guide.
Oh, really? Okay, so
Yes.
might be my fault, but okay. So the
Yes.
thing, but in the telco SBOM guide, there is something discussion about the SBOM merger. 3.12 SBOM merger, but there is no discussion in this SBOM quality guide.
SBOM merger. This one?
Yeah.
Yes, I will. I don't intend such things. I will refer all of section 3 from the Telco SBOM guide.
そういうこと?
Yes. Sorry, I'm not sure describe all chapters in this draft, but I will inherit section 3, all of section 3 from the Telco SBOM guide.
So if you want to use this OpenChain's new SBOM quality guide, we should also check the OpenChain SBOM guide.
No, it'll be
We need two documents.
Sorry.
It'll be copy pasted.
Sorry, Shane.
Sorry, go. I was just saying the text will be copy pasted inside, so you won't need both documents in your hand.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Jimmy, can you speak out? I can't understand for your with your
Oh
comment.
yes. Yep. So I can speak up. And as to the name of telco SBOM guide, I do agree that it's more let's say more broader than just telco, but we never found a better name for it than telco. So there's no specific requirements to telco. I think that the requirements in the SBOM guide there are probably applicable to more industries. It's also proved useful to calling it telco SBOM guide to get adoption, at least in the telco industry. But I don't think it should be viewed as a telco only thing, as you point to in Ujistan. It's the requirements are applicable to more industries than just telco.
Okay. Ninja-san, are you okay, or do you have any thoughts?
Thank you so much for your comments, Jimmy and Kobuto-san.
Yes. This is just a ideal level. So, but all of Japanese community, including Ninja-san, but recently you can't join our discussions, unfortunately. But we don't intend any we don't intend to remove specific chapters. We all based on the telco SBOM guide. But we also think we needed to modify from the industry independent and format agnostic perspective. So we will modify telco SBOM guide from such perspective. But we will refer all sections, all chapters about from the telco SBOM guide. And this is just at this moment, this is just a guide, not specification, not guideline. So we'd like to start just sharing the best practices and the best solution or some actual examples in the world to the all industries communities. Okay.
Perhaps one last note is that telco is deeply involved in helping with this as well. So we're synchronized with Mark on chair of telco. But to your point, Ninjoji-san, we should make sure that, first of all, there's nothing contradictory about the guides. Second of all, you don't need to read both documents. You can choose one or the other. And then finally, to Kubota-san's point, that the cross-industry, cross-format guide has a slightly wider scope because it won't do anything specific to telco, but it will also include other SBOM formats and so on.
Yes,
I just raised my hand because, as we discussed, that this is like brainstorming a little bit. So thinking out loud, should or could we add a chapter that would describe or say that the audience of this guide, for example, that this could be for the tooling people, for the users of SBOM, for the people who are generating SBOMs, etc., or would that be just noise on this document?
I have one question. Do you intend to create some separate requirements or some items for each audience? Do you intend to separate some requirements for each audience?
I think it would be similar, but the take, for example, for the, I don't know, the SEA people could be a little bit different than, for example, just the ones who are consuming SBOMs, because they are, responsible of generating SBOMs, and then there are some folks who are consuming, so they might have a little bit different view to the guide.
Yes.
But I don't know if it adds any value to let's say pinpoint that, okay, Mr. Mrs. SBOM generator, look at this, and then consumer, maybe you have another I don't know, maybe it just adds noise.
Yes. Yes. Thank you for your idea. Yes, it's a good idea, but it's a little difficult. Yes, we will discuss about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, we had 8 minutes left. Are there any other questions or thoughts?
I have some news in that Alan Friedman from CISA has expressed interest in what we're doing, and he wants to know more about the type of SBOM work we're doing. The first thing he wants is a presentation about the telco guide during the CISA weekly meeting. So I just wanted to flag that this is something that's upcoming, and hopefully we'll be able to get CISA to informally give us some notes as well. I believe, if I'm correct, Jimmy, you're going to join the CISA call to do the briefing if and when Alan schedules it.
Yes, that's the intent at least. If and when he schedules it, and either if it's me or if it's Mark, or if I give a little bit of historical overview, having started the thing once upon a time, or if Mark does that, then I'm just there for sort of moral supporting context. But I think it's very encouraging to have someone like Alan reaching out, wanting to know more, and I no doubt that sort of once we in that group touch upon the telco SBOM, I mean, this work that we're doing here in the SBOM study group is highly relevant. So I would assume that he would have an interest in that as well.
So I just wanted to flag that because it's cool.
Yeah, to be honest, I was a bit starstruck when I saw that email.
Yeah, it's really good. And Alan is, such a nice person. He's great to work with. It's going to be really good for us. No pressure, Kubota-san.
If available, could you share the meeting schedule with
will.
us?
I'll-
Yeah, thank you. I will attend as just an audience.
It's during some crazy time for us in Japan. I'll bring you in to see it's on that particular thing. It just happened this week. An email came in from Alan asking for a briefing. So I'll include you on that. And let's see. They want to know about Telco Guide. I'm sure they'll be very interested that we're looking at cross-industry. And I'd love if CISA might join one of our calls to give us a briefing on their work.
Yes, we have one question in the chat box. I also interested in this question from Stefan. Yeah, she says SBOM mail list is very silent recently, so we are very worrying about that. But it's difficult to share in this meeting. I think.
Yeah, we'll find out what happens, I guess, over the next few months. It's going to take a while for things to settle down, but I believe that we should have more certainty about the US government in approximately 1 month, because that's the point where the initial phase of Elon Musk's activity with his Department of Government Efficiency will have completed its task. And at that point, it'll be more clear what has been cut, what stays, etc., etc.
Sure. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Okay. That's almost time to finish this meeting. Thank you for attending, all of you guys. Are there any last comment from Shane?
I just wanted to say thank you for a wonderful meeting and so many helpful questions and ideas. And, I think Joji-san raised a really important clarification. What are we doing this for? How does it work? I think we had some great suggestions from our friends at Bosch about format examples. What a great meet. This is what community is all about. Sharing ideas, brainstorming, agreeing, disagreeing, finding new things. This is why it's fun to work together.
Okay. Thank you very much. Oh, okay, Lisa. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Thank you for attending, all of you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you at the Open Source Summit North America in June. Okay. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Looking forward to it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Have a good day.